right, we are recording with Marcus Baker
Hey,
and your film Counterweight we just watched. Uh,
yeah.
I'm pretending that there's a theater, a 90-seat theater with about 70 people in it who are all going to take turns telling you just how cool your film is. Uh, what an original story. Um,
Mhm.
One of my first notes for you is like, I just found it so original and compelling.
Mhm.
This story you tell, you take a character that we don't always get to see on film, you
Mhm.
know, rarely is the lead, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
you take a
absolutely.
guy who needs a little confidence boost to go to a party, and boy, his the quest he's on inside his
It-
own apartment, it's
yeah,
just so it's imaginative and original.
yeah.
So I mean, you did a great job at the writing stage. Um,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
um, was this was this one of the ones where you did almost everything? I mean, it.
Yeah, so I I didn't shoot it. I had a DP, Elliot Frost. I believe he's named in the credits there. Um, but no, I mean, I wrote, I directed, I produced, I did all of that. I when I wrote it, I was going through a stage where I was just trying to pump out a lot of work, and this was a part of that, and I feel really proud of how it turned out.
Is this a situation where you had a little pile of scripts and you looked at Counterweight and said, "I could shoot that in my apartment"?
Sort of. So with Counterweight, I had been trying to make what was essentially a short a month for about 4 or 5 months, and I got to the fifth month, and I was like, you know what? I really like this script that I've written, and I actually want to take my time with it. So I put the short a month thing to the side and just focused on getting this made. And I put everything into it. I put all the resources I had, all the contacts I had. I put everything into that. Um, we actually didn't shoot in my apartment. I had two friends who graciously lent me their apartment. And we luckily only had, I think, two or three noise complaints. um, but yeah, yeah, I think it turned out pretty close to how I imagined it, in the grand scheme of things, I guess.
And at the script stage, you were picturing black and white.
Yeah, at the script stage, it was always black and white. At the time, a lot of what I was shooting was just black and white, just because it was easier to shoot. It's quicker to shoot. You only really have to worry about contrasts. So when I was writing it, it was still very much in black and white. Yeah.
Cool decision. I mean, it looks for for obviously something that his home is fairly sparse,
Yeah.
but the black and white, it just looks great. And
Yeah.
among the other things to compliment, what really stood out to me when I watch it, because I watched it again yesterday preparing to chat
Hmm.
with you, because
Yeah.
I lose out on the getting to watch it with an audience at the theater,
Hmm.
is the sound design. You
Yeah.
accomplish so much with sound in what looks like a bare bone project.
Hmm.
I love what you do with sound design and in his struggle to communicate with other humans.
Thank you. Yeah, that was actually one of the things we were proudest of the most. I worked pretty tirelessly with my editor was also my sound designer, was also my composer. His name's Chris. Um, Chris and I worked for probably 2 3 weeks straight, just hammering out the right hammering out the sound that we needed, hammering out exactly what we were looking for. We looked at I know I personally was thinking along the lines of the way PTA uses sound in Punch Drunk Love, the way Richard Ayoade uses it in The Double. But really, just the I wanted the world itself to sound oppressive, because in a film like this, it's obviously all taking place in his head. Um, And I think with sound, that's something that you're perceiving even when you're not thinking about it. And so it can weigh on you a lot more if there's a lot going on. The same way with, the Safdie brothers do it in Uncut Gems, that kind of thing. Not to compare myself, but that kind of thinking along with it.
Well, it works perfectly, and you can compare yourself, or it's not as much a comparison as an homage, but
Yeah.
yeah, you did a great job
Thank you.
with the
Thank you.
sound, which really shows me something about you as a filmmaker. By the way, short a month, I think I let that slide by, that that you are a workhorse apparently.
Yeah. One of my idols is Steven Soderbergh. So just trying to pump things out the way that he normally does. I mean, I think he's written like four or five scripts in quarantine already. So he's a busy guy.
I'm with you on that. I'm a big Soderbergh fan too. I was in college when Sex, Lies, and Videotape came out. So
Oh man, I got the book. I got the book over here. It's great.
I got the book when it came out. Yeah.
Oh, so great.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so was this a long shoot, short shoot? You actually, I assume you had your intentions with sound design from the start, so you didn't super have to manage that crowd, but you actually have a pretty big crowd there, which not that many indie shorts deal with so many humans at once.
Yeah. I was fortunate to have a lot of friends that were willing to come out for sure. There's that one shot when he's looking from behind the sink, looking out at the crowd, and I look back at that and I think, oh, that's all of my friends in LA at the time. But yeah, it was a pretty short shoot. It was 2 days. It was my longest shoot. I'd only done like a 1-day shoot where you're just speeding through everything. But I did a 2-day shoot, and we knocked it out pretty quickly. The DP that I worked with, Elliot, we had blocked everything out really, really thoroughly, so that when it came time to just move on to our next shot, we knew exactly what we needed. We knew everything we were going to need well before we were ever going to need it. I mean, storyboarding, obviously, all of that. So yeah, it was a 2-day shoot, but it was quick. We moved very, very fast. Very fast.
Well, and it sounds like with the storyboarding, everything, did anything surprising happen to you on set, or did you just shoot what was on the page as efficiently as you could?
Yeah. I mean, we shot, I think, about as efficiently as we could for the most part. As far as surprises, we did run into a surprise. There's that scene at the end where he's being pinned to the ground, and he's got the measuring tapes going over his wrist and his head and that kind of thing. And that was the only thing that we got to it. And we found that what I had planned out didn't work at all. And we had to kind of figure that out on the fly. But that was probably about the biggest surprise. And I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. And I know that, they always tell you to be open to how things can change on set. And that actually happened on our first day of shooting. I think it was one of our first shots of the day. And it really reminded me right away, like, whatever you have planned, be open to something else in case you have to change it. So
I just want to tell you, one of my favorite things in it is the whiteboard.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
When it's revealed to be gibberish, I just think that's such a smart way for you to carry your concept, to another the next step, the next stage of his inability to communicate. Because you bring in this. I mean, it's just a series of moments where he's becoming more and more divorced from his goals of being able to socialize. And there's something about that visual. I mean, it's a visual medium, and I just think it was when I see something like that, I'm like, Oh man, this filmmaker is so smart.
Thank you so much. Yeah, with the whiteboard, that was something that was in it from the pretty early drafts of it. I think I did about 12 drafts of this, and that was in it from draft one, because I knew I was going to need some way to communicate, obviously beyond him just not being able to communicate, but I wanted to put something in there that would visually communicate it as well. So yeah, that was in there from the start. That was something I was also really proud of. Yeah, I was lucky to have Michael who can actually draw, and I told him to just write whatever gibberish he could come up with on the day. So
yeah, it looks like one of those Star Trek languages.
yeah, yeah. I think I might have to ask him about this, but I think Michael's actually a Star Trek fan, so I might owe some money to Gene Roddenberry.
I doubt it. I doubt it. But yeah, actually, they probably did copyright Klingon. But well, so you made this pre-quarantine, I assume.
Yeah, we shot this in August of 2019. We finished in, I believe, January of 2020. Might be December 2019, but around there.
And so now your whole festival experience has been clouded by a pandemic?
Yeah, a little bit. There was one other festival that I was supposed to play in May, but obviously that didn't happen. So it's definitely been different than you might have expected, or than, excuse me, that I might have expected. But it's still been exciting, and obviously hearing that I got into Sherman Oaks was very thrilling. Hearing that I got into that other festival is very thrilling. So there's still that element of it, for sure. But I'm a big proponent of the theatrical experience, and I haven't gotten to watch this with a crowd yet. You're actually the first person that has actually given me any feedback that isn't someone I asked to give me feedback. So hearing someone else's response to it would have been really cool, but someday,
Yeah, and it would have been really cool for this would have been, I mean, such an original film that the 90-seat theater we rent in Sherman Oaks that we normally cram around 50, 60 people in it, depending.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have loved to, I get something out of that audience reaction as a festival program, because I watch everything too many times and then make these horrible draconian decisions, and then I'm sitting there going, I hope they like it. But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would think that the audience would have really, well, it's going to happen for you at some point.
Yeah,
you're going to get that feedback of a room full of strangers.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I hope so. I know you mentioned with the sound design, that was something we'd really planned for with where sounds are coming from and where they are in the room and that kind of thing. So not hearing that in the theater has been a little bit of a bummer for sure, but
You played around with the surround a bit, or you played around with stuff coming on different sides?
Yeah, different sides, different speakers. We played around with all sorts of it, all sorts of stuff like that. The sound design was the element of the film that we put the most into, for sure. I mean, outside of the strenuousness of production, obviously. So.
And did you cast this, or is that a friend of yours you focused on?
So
you threw him, you made him the lead.
So I had a wonderful friend who operated as my casting director. He turned me on to Michael Olvera and Felix Martinson, and I met with them, and we just talked about the parts. I just got to know them a little bit, and I went from there. It was a pretty easy casting process, and especially given that it was my first time going through it. So, yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about Michael and Felix. They were amazing on set. They were great to work with. I really, really enjoyed working with them.
Fantastic. And they actually your casting friend really helped, because their chemistry really works.
Yeah. It was fun to watch them interact on set, just, when cameras aren't rolling, because they, on on screen, they're not getting along very well. Michael's always trying to get a hold of Felix and that kind of thing. But, you know, when they were behind the scenes, they were just chatting it up, you know, just friendly. It was great.
Yeah, seriously, I'm so old. I can't remember having a roommate when you would actually have a lock on your bedroom door.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens these days, I guess.
I would imagine, you know, what with people moving in and out. I
Yeah.
remember the 20s, like, you know, even if it was 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, any final shout outs before we jump off? I think we're bumping into our 15-minute limit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, the whole cast and crew, everyone that helped with the production was amazing. A special shout out to Kristen Leonard, who was my associate producer and my AD, which are two jobs that are very difficult, and I can't do them. So yeah, huge thanks to everyone. I appreciate everyone at the festival who selected us, everyone who's watching this right now. Yeah, I'm just really grateful, and you know, hope to have more opportunities in the future.
Well, congratulations on a great job, and
Thank you so much.
looking forward to seeing more from you. Sounds like you're nothing slowing you down. You're a productive person.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Keep Sherman Oaks and Film Invasion. That's our June festival. Keep us in mind. It'll be
Absolutely.
hopefully next year there will be human beings in spaces, in enclosed spaces.
Fingers are crossed.
The drive-in thing just wasn't gonna be feasible, turns out. But
yeah,
it was a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you as well.
And as I said, the last words of the Q&A will be, I'm going to tell you I'm going to hit stop on the recording.
Sounds great.